Since the introduction of 5G and the whole notion of the service-based architecture and service-based interfaces within 5G, we're starting to see those techniques creep into other technology areas, and IMS is a good example of that. So here on screen you can see that one of the network functions of the IMS that is now considered part of a service-based architecture approach is the HSS. So the whole point in the service-based architecture is a specific network function which could be actually based on a cloud-native application type design. That network function offers a series of services to other network functions in the network. So if a network function, such as the serving call session control function in the IMS, wants to invoke one of those particular services from the HSS, well, we use a service-based interface to achieve that. Now, that service-based interface is based on the transfer of HTTP2 messages. And because we're using HTTP2, we're going to be using URIs, and it's the URI that will effectively identify what the message is trying to achieve, and then we might see a JSON payload for that particular message to carry the actual information, if that's applicable. So when you look at these API calls, as essentially they are, on these service-based interfaces, the URI will identify the network function that we're trying to access. It will identify the requested service that we're trying to invoke, and typically a specific service operation that we're trying to actually fulfill. If we look at this from a slightly different perspective, what we've got there is the connectivity to and from the device. That could be 4G, it could be 5G or whatever. Then we've got the proxy call session control function, which is the kind of ingress-egress point into our IMS network. And then we've got interrogating or serving call session control functions and also application servers. So they are affected by the service-based architecture because we can add specific functional elements to this now. The policy control function of 5G, but also the HSS of the IMS. These are two network functions which are part of the service-based architecture approach. And what that means is if we want to invoke services from them, we need to use their service-based interfaces. They've still got reference points, as you can see. So we've got N5 between the proxy and the PCF. We've got N70 for our call session control functions in the HSS, and also N71 for the application servers and the HSS. But fundamentally, on those reference points, what you're really actually using is a service-based interface, whether it's NPCF or NHSS IMS. We are using HTTP2 to invoke service operations from those service-based architecture network functions.